Probably not all of you are still ESCAS members, so, but we will talk about that. Before I give the floor to President of ESCAS, well-known Abel brother, you know him, probably all of you. I'm just wondering, is there anybody in the hall who doesn't know Abel? Okay, before I give him the floor, just a few words, maybe technical and related to this conference. First of all, I would like to thanks a lot to you as participants. Secondly, I would like to say great Qatar Ahmad to our colleagues from Marcos, especially Aziz. Aziz, are you here somewhere? Oh yeah. So Aziz, he was one of those who dealt with a lot of organization issues in Tashkent. So thanks a lot, Qatar Ahmad's girl. And of course, his team, because he didn't work alone. And the same thanks, the same Qatar Ahmad goes to Orthodox. Thanks God for all organizations. When I came up, I didn't know Markaziy before, but not very well. I came yesterday at 8 o'clock or around 8 o'clock here, and I saw how the whole machine of his team works smoothly and perfectly. So thanks a lot. If there are some mistakes, of course, it's also on our own. Sorry for those troubles we got to somebody and troubles we caused due to some organization issues. We tried our best, but you know, no conference, no event such as that can be organized for 100%. So if we achieve at least 90%, we will be happy. If it's less, we will be less happy. But okay, I hope that you will leave some account at least somehow satisfied from new meetings and new ideas. Abel, you're taking photos, but I think that I need to invite you on the stage. Yeah? So, Abel, President of ESCAS, he will talk about some issues on ESCAS.
Okay, thank you. I won't be presenting the statistics. It looks like in the official conference. A few words about what's been happening so far in a kind of new management. First of all, I want to repeat, because it's never enough, that my is only thanks to the local teams, because they've been really, really helpful and amazingly kind of organized. So, situation with ESCAS. I don't know how many of you know that, but when we inherited ESCAS, basically there were no passwords. We had no access to the database. We had no access to the social media. Luckily, we got the access to the website. That was the only thing we had. So we didn't even know who ESCAS was, who the people from ESCAS. It took us forever to go one by one the list of, the repository of members and check their email address online. And we didn't have ChatGPT back then. It would have been much easier. So this is why the conference in 2023, we didn't have database yet. We didn't have a mailing list. We had to start, even if ESCAS is like 11 years old or more, basically we started in a new manner. So what we did so far, apart from small things, we had the ESCAS Regional Conference in Almaty in 2023. Then we had a regional workshop hosted by Anne, who is here in Istanbul. Then we had a joint event that we got in Lisbon, together with CES, our American cousin. And then we had a small workshop just before this conference on science excellence. Finally, we're here. So what we're doing, what are the plans for the future? First one is the ESCAS conference is biannual. So we're not going to have a conference next year, it's going to be in 2 years, which gives a bit of time to rest, to reorganize, to think. We still don't know where it's going to be held. So I'm tempted to open a kind of a competition. So I have some friends at the one conference, they always ask, can people who are interested in hosting the conference contact us? Because why? Because if the local administration is interested and they're interested in fundraising, there could be some help. So just one thing I wanted to be aware that our budget is much lower than CES. We basically have no one hired. We have everyone is working on a volunteer basis, and our turnover is much lower. So we rely just on people. And you've seen also the conference fee is much lower than most other conferences. We're really trying to keep it low, so to be inclusive, which is also the reason why I try to have it in the region. Why? Because no European need a visa for the region, but most people from the region need a visa for Europe. So apart from being a kind of bureaucratic nightmare, it is also a matter of cost and logistics. I don't know if you're aware, in 2017, when we had a conference in Britain, I estimated that 1/3 of the Central Asia were either denied a visa or they were kind of deported, and this is something we would like to avoid. And so, and Uzbek traveling to Kazakhstan, unless he's done really, really bad things, he's not going to be before the report. So that's the rationale behind having the conference in the region. And also because we would like to have conferences in places that are not always the central ones. So obviously Europe, Tashkent, Almaty, Astana is easier, but we dream of places that are a bit less easier. So Samarkand was the first one. Now we were speculating about Andijan for the possible. Some people was going even beyond to say, well, Andijan and Osh together, and then it's going to be fun to cross the border. I would say, well, let's do the no man's land between the Uzbekistan and Kyrgyzstan at the stage. It's going to be even more fun. But anyway, apart from those things, we need to see what is logistically feasible. But we would like to keep ESCAS, this kind of large conference in the region, accessible, but also as an opportunity for local universities that have fewer internationalization opportunities. Because people coming to Uzbekistan, they come to Tashkent. Maybe they go to Samarkand and Bukhara because they have the Silk Road. Khiva is forgotten, even if in Mumbai she had a few universities. Andijan is just this exotic place out there, and we would like to de-exoticize places. So, an example, when I was working with China, once I managed to bring all an event in Inner Mongolia, in Hot, and it was one of the few first kind of international events. So, what we plan to do is, we are supporting, we kind of, in a similar way, the Italian Association of Eurasian Studies. They're going to have a conference in Venice. I think the call came out already, and I don't know if Frank is here, but if he's not here, anyway, he contacted us. So we're not going to organize, don't blame us for anything, don't call us and say, oh, I cannot find my representation because we don't know anything, but we're using ESCAS structures to advertise the event. Which is, if you have an event to advertise and it's relevant, and you want to use ESCAS meetings, you want to use ESCAS support, you could even see if somebody from ESCAS can come to deliver a presentation, to explain something. You're always welcome to contact us. Of course, we cannot be everywhere, but if the conference is on Central Asia and on Eurasian Studies in a way or another, we will try to be there to send someone to upload the presentation, depending really on there are ESCAS joint activities, but they're not regular, so I cannot foresee when it's going to happen. And there are going to be some small events. Now, a small event can be initiated by anyone. So any one of you, they say, I want to have a small event on Central Eurasian Studies, Caucasus and Central Asian Studies, whatever you want to call them. And we would like to have it suit some ESCAS support. Now, ESCAS support is something that has to be negotiated. There's no fixed package. Okay? And we don't have money. Just for you. I told you that the budget is very low. We make money from the registration fee. We spend most of the money when you think about local registration fee. The training was almost half of the registration. But we can help with experience, contacts. Then you discover that actually your next university, there is a very good friend of ours who can also help him with the coffee breaks or can give sponsorship or that. So this we can do. I would like to keep ESCAS kind of working on a volunteer basis so that we have resources, our main kind of resource. So any suggestions are welcome. And anything you want to do can be done. Good. You've noticed that ESCAS seems to be composed of 2 persons. Well, officially we have a board of 8. So that's because the board, most of the board resigned in the course of the year. I mean, some people disappeared, some people were staying with us, but they say it's too much work. There was somebody who wanted to finish a PhD, they wanted to concentrate. So some people, we are not very happy the way it went. Some people just honestly say, I cannot take it anymore. Which is why we are holding elections soon. You're welcome to kind of propose your name. The only thing we would like to avoid is free riders, which is people that are on the ESCAS board because they can look nice on their administration and say, I'm ESCAS board. They get a promotion and then disappear. We had a case in Almaty, there was one member of the board, she was also working in the same university, and I think she showed up in the beginning and was like, oh, thank you. And it was a bit kind of disappointing. Work in ESCAS is online, and we actually don't, I mean, because it's a voluntary basis, we're not working regularly. There's no expectation that you're there all the time. So most of the work revolves around the biannual conference. So next year is going to be kind of very, very slow start. And then in 2026, we're going to start thinking where, how, lots of both papers. And then this is where things get intense, because there are a few things that need to be done. We're probably not going to have a moving conference, so we don't have to buy tickets because administrative help. But still, we need to select papers, arrange panels, and talk about logistics. I mean, collect fees that they do. Anything else is also welcome. So if you enter ESCAS and you say, I want to promote more activities in the university where I'm based, in the country where I'm based, in regional interest, it's also, I mean, we are based on people volunteering. That's the way it works. So publication plans, because there is a kind of cultural difference between places where people say, oh, do we have a publication plan? We don't have publication plans. Usually we do not publish proceedings. We cannot guarantee the quality, I mean, even if the presentation was the best presentation ever, we cannot guarantee on the quality of the written product. So we don't take care of this. But we hope that some panels that were interesting, I mean, if in a panel were interesting discussion, those could lead to a special issue, those could lead to a book, those could lead to further activities. But we don't centralize this, because doing this with 350 people is not really our dream, especially not being paid. But we are relying on a number of things, so we have academic support to Central Asian scholars. We've been doing this, let me see who's like, I think she's here somewhere. Yeah, so the USTA program, they've been training Central Asian academics into writing, so let's say it's more difficult if you have a training in a kind of methodological training to get support. Yeah, she's there. You can. So they were really doing a great job with if you want to present later, you're welcome. You're really doing a great job kind of supporting Central Asian scholars. There was Central Asian survey also supporting scholars, like not rejecting papers, but saying, okay, your paper is weak, but we're going to work together. I've been doing similar things with my journals, my small one, SPSS. And also, I do regular trainings on publication strategy and on how to publish, how to fundraise, how to think your career strategically, based on schools diaries. There's still one copy left, if somebody wants it. And I recently got awarded this Open Research in Central Asia. So for 4 years, we're going to work with institutions from the 5 Central Asian states on increasing, exchanging ideas on how to publish and how to improve research. So we have a partner in each country. And of course, the partners are the ones that will be mostly involved, but anyone else who is not formally on the project can attend meetings and can also give support. And attend a meeting or organizing something, we have some small money that we can provide in case the activity is interesting. Last thing is, again, publication thing. I just became editor of Culture and Social Science Eurasian section, which is relatively new, which has a policy relatively fair when it comes to publishing, because they apply discounts to people from, depending on the income of the region. It's by default open access, so there's no free publication you pay for that, unless you're from some country where you get scholarship, you got partial scholarship. And before accepting the task, I was asking them, okay, so how much money, how often do you give scholarships and so on. So this is something I decided to explore. Not sure how long it'll be, but the journal will be very interested in anything which is related to Asia. So from the Caucasus to Central Asia, I've submitted myself a proposal for it's not called a special issue, but can be collecting papers on informality and the everyday. So you also, you will see the code at some point. If you have an idea for what used to be called a special issue, can also be submitted. If you have paper, they can also be submitted. Be aware that I'm very, very selective, both in my SDSS and course in social sciences. But usually when I support someone, then we support. So if we accept, it's to work together to publish. I stop here. If there are any questions, that's the time to ask. And if Uza wants to say anything about Usta, she's also welcome. Thank you.
I will also hold. My name is Uza, and as I've been said, I have been leading this Usta mentorship project in the last 3 years or 4 years. It's also a voluntary work, so we are a very small group of people. And what we do is basically we run a program. I think the last time we ran it was actually for 1.5 years. So we select mentees, we match the mentees with the mentors in their fields, and we also run workshops. Some of the workshops are run by the people in the organizing committee, and some of the workshops are run by people we invite to provide some kind of workshop. And mostly the aim of this program is that Central Asian researchers who are kind of feeling that they're not publishing or having some hard time of publishing, just kind of give them a little bit of a push. So it's not really a training per se, because we don't have much resources. It's not a PhD program, it's not a master's program. It's all based on the voluntary kind of work. So it's just a kind of, sometimes some people feel like, they lost their confidence in writing because they have been rejected many times. And this just gives them a little bit of a guidance, basically, in publication, which is basically has the, overall overarching kind of goal that actually more Central Asian researchers coming from the region are publishing in interdisciplinary or disciplinary or area studies of journals and making the voices of the Central Asian researchers stronger. So we finished this year the last round, which was actually third round of Usta mentorship program. We had 15 mentees. We had 70 applications actually for that round, and it was supported by the British Academy, so we had a bit of a funding. Last year we had an in-person workshop in Almaty, and I think this round was because we were able actually to bring people together and had a 3-day workshop, which was really great, and I think it boosted more this kind of community spirit. So we're also working on developing a community spirit. But in most of the times we are meeting online. So next time we are planning to run, and I think we're gonna